Welcome to the second part of my Taunton walk around. Last time we went from Wilson and through Vivary Park, missing going out of the back entrance and down Mount Street, finishing up at the main gates of Vivary Park. We start the second part back at the main gates of the park and turn left, turning into Mount Street at the front end. The road is directly behind Vivary Park, where the old Jalalabad Keep is still visible from. Most of Mount Street is houses or businesses converted from old houses. The only military remnants left is the keep from the Jalalabad barracks. The name of the barracks is due to the regiment winning one of its many battle honours at Jalalabad in 1842. Yes, that writing does say no parking. I believe there were old army training grounds dating from 1796, but the barracks were built in 1879 in a Gothic revival style. The Somerset Light Infantry based here had merged with the Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry in 1959. The Somerset Light Infantry moved out of the barracks and were taken over by the Royal Army Pay Corps. Around the 1990s, some of the buildings were sold off. The keep itself is still owned by the military. As an interesting fact, Arnold Ridley, who played Private Godfrey in Dad's Army, was fighting in the Somerset Light Infantry during the First World War, where he was injured 7 times and finally was moved from the military in 1916 due to invalidity. He saw active service in the war in 1914, sustaining several wounds in close quarter battles. His left hand was left virtually useless from wounds sustained on the Somme. His legs were riddled with shrapnel. He also received a bayonet wound in the groin and a blow to the head from a German soldier's rifle butt, leaving him prone to blackouts after the war. After all that, he still went on to be infinitely more talented than Jedward. Although the keep is still quite an imposing building, the original barracks were far larger. Here we can see the back of the keep on the left hand side of the photo. The next photo shows the right hand side more. I've tried to match up the two to show how it looked, though the perspective of where the shots were taken are different. It does show though that the barracks were a large rectangular complex. Outside the keep is a letterbox. This clearly is for illiterate townsfolk, as they had to mark exactly where the letters were to be posted in the local yokel dialect. Where's the post slot? Here. Here is St Mary's Memorial School. It was built in 1886 and is a Grade 2 listed building along with the first number of houses in Mount Street. We head back round left where we get back to the main gates of Ivory Park. We have now covered this highlighted area with the blue line. The dotted line I filmed looking up the road, but it's all just residential housing now. Now to change the map scale as we're about to head off down High Street. We pass the park gates and head towards the crossing. Here we are at Victoria Gate. This building used to be the old Trustee Savings Bank, or TSB, which started in 1810 and lasted until 1995 when it was absorbed into Lloyds Bank, which became Lloyds TSB. Due to how trustees work, the bank went from Somerset Savings Bank in another part of the town to moving here in 1831, again under the auspices of trustees, but not under a unified Trustee Savings Bank name. In 1970, trustees' banks throughout the country unified as one big Trustees Savings Bank and all used the same name. In 1984, they became a major bank with the slogan, "The bank that likes to say yes." Now we get to the top of High Street, starting with a few shops. This 1902 photo shows more of the shops at the top of High Street, formerly known as Cornhill as far back as 1086 or even before. The town had a market and its own mint producing money locally. These were noted in the Domesday Book, King William I's tax survey of his kingdom made in 1086. As it was mentioned, the market and mint were obviously there before, but no record of how long they'd been around before 1086 can be found. The red arrow shows where the slope is, where the job centre is now. And here we see the joke shop. Job centre. This used to have a job centre where the National Insurance Number office is now at the front. Where the red circle is used to be a DVLA office where you could buy a tax disc. This used to have a two-section stable door where the man would open the top part and serve you. The photo makes the building look like a right shithole. In real life, that would be an uphill climb for the building to reach that status. A photo from 1908 shows a baker's shop. This building, along with others, were demolished to widen the road. High Street was not always pedestrianised, and cars could drive up and down until the late 70s or early 80s. The bottom end of the street now has a carving commissioned for the proclamation and coronation of King Charles III. In the 1900s, when High Street finally joined up with East Street and 4th Street in this area, it became known as High Cross. Here we have Hatcher's department store, or rather what's left of it. Hatcher's had shops on either side of the road. The one now red sold clothes. The one on the right side, where Tesco's Express is, sold electrical items and household items. Here are some 1973 photos showing the right-hand side of Hatcher's that sold clothes when cars could still travel up and down the High Street. Although not many anymore, Taunton does still hold markets at times. As we travel down to the end of High Street, we pass the historical Bath Place, which we shall go down in another video. Here we have the sculpture commissioned for the proclamation and coronation of King Charles III. This is a symbol of Taunton and is a wyvern, not a dragon. A wyvern is a mythical creature from the 14th century, derived from the Middle English word wyver, and mixed with some Anglo-French meaning viper. A wyvern has 2 legs, not 4, so it's not a dragon. It has a serpent tongue and a tail with a point. It has 2 legs, that of a fowl, and wings. The sculpture is 4 metres tall, or just over 13 feet tall in old money.
Friends, we came into this world with nothing. We came naked into this world and we're going to leave with absolutely nothing.
We come into the world with nothing and we leave with nothing. Thankfully, he's the other end from the job centre, otherwise people would go, no need to get a job then, I'll end up with nothing anyway, according to him. You're going to die and be broke. Great inspirational speech there. As we cross the street at the end of High Street, we can look up from the other end. From these 1973 old photos, you can see that other than traffic now not being able to drive up the High Street, not a lot has changed. In these last 2 photos, you can see if you look up from the modern shop fronts, the rest of the buildings are almost still the same as 100 or more years ago. We are now at our new destination point and we have covered the Pink Line. In the next video, we shall go a little bit back, part way down High Street and go down Bath Place.